Okay, so a lot of people have been talking about this clip of Hasan online.
But a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you in the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
Including some of the biggest Twitter accounts, content aggregators on the internet. And as I found out, they're coming at him for a take that he doesn't even really have. But in order to be fair, I'm gonna be going through this drama in the order it came out to me, which means we are not gonna get the context from Hasan until halfway through the video. And the reveal is gonna look a little something like this.
No, social battery wise.
Are we really only talking about social battery? What the fuck? What the fuck? So here's a full video of me going from nothing to getting full context and my take on, is streaming a hard job? Are streamers lazy? The answer may surprise you. Let's get to why everyone hates Hasan. I actually don't even know what Hasan said. The only thing I know about this is people are doing the streaming is the hardest job in the world thing again, and I love it.
Yes, a real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired, but a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will. So, yes.
There's something I do. Streaming is so funny because in so many other artistic mediums, you are creating something and you're sanding it and you're chipping away at it and you're making like the best version of a thing. But when you are streaming, this actually goes to Hasan's point, but it's so fucking funny. When you're streaming and you're sitting there for 9 hours, there's gonna be a lot of downtime and there's gonna be a lot of filler. And so a 5-second pause into, so you guys got any shungite? Here's my presumption. This is going to be a clip, Chimp, and right before this, he's gonna be like, I respect all people who work real jobs. Real jobs are hard, and they're all, you know, great people. And then he's gonna say this, and this is gonna be the part that's clipped. But in just looking at this clip, it is a little bit wide for my taste, right? Where he's comparing all real jobs to streaming, and that is tough. Let's get the quote again.
But a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
I do think that, yeah, there's a lot of time. Hey, sorry, let me clear things up here. I am a streamer. I do this thing. And so no matter what I say in this video, you should take it with a grain of salt. You should understand that this is a perspective, this is a take that is coming from a streamer, coming from a person who does do extended streams, who got their first start in streaming doing 7-8 hour streams every day, 7 days a week, and who maybe commiserates a little more with a streamer than someone who is not a streamer and something like that. Man decides to stream 9 hours a day, complains about streaming 9 hours a day, and that's the other thing that pisses me off about clip chimping in general is that someone in chat will ask a question that's like, hey, Hasan, what do you think is harder, a regular job or 9 hours of streaming? And then someone like Hasan will be like, okay, well, I've worked a regular job and I've worked 9 hours of streaming. And while a regular job can be hard, I've never been more tired. Nothing's been more soul sucking than 9 hours of streaming. I don't think Hasan was sitting here going, you know what? I want to shit talk labor today. I want to take the majority of people and tell them that my life is worse and harder than theirs. It's just, to me, it doesn't seem like a thing that he was trying to do. And again, I'm presuming, and maybe this is unfair of me, that he was asked a question that he has then answered, right? Now, when Drama Alert makes a post like this, you're gonna have a lot of people reply to it. It's the usual suspects. I think we've seen a lot of Willie Mac Show versus Hasan on this stream and on these YouTube videos. Willie says, this guy makes shit up for 9 hours a day, and his commute to work is walking into his 5th bedroom in his $3 million mansion. But somehow a real job is hard. I mean, hey, real jobs are hard. But streaming also can be hard. Streaming also can be soul sucking. And I think the real thing about streaming that is hard for me, yeah, this is all started by Drama Alert, is the non-streaming part of streaming. And I think Hasan was kind of onto this as well. Streaming, the act of live broadcasting, is the easiest part of my day. I turn on a camera, I talk to people, I make some jokes. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't hit. I play video games, I watch clips, I do literally whatever I want, and it is fucking brain dead easy. The hard part is after you turn off the stream, because then you're supposed to love your wife. You're supposed to play with your dog. You're supposed to go to the gym. The same things that are hard after a regular job. The difference between a regular job and streaming, in my experience, only looking at anecdotal evidence from my life, is that when I worked an office job, even when I worked retail, there were so many times when I could just fuck off and do whatever I wanted. When I was putting movies back on the shelves at the video rental store, if I wanted to just stand there and fucking scratch my balls for a second, I could do it. You know what I mean? Whereas when I'm streaming, theoretically, I have to be on or else I'm losing viewers to someone who is doing something more interesting. And then the second I get offline, it's like, how am I cutting this into a YouTube video? And what am I doing tomorrow? And how am I doing all these other things? The hard part about streaming is not in the work whatsoever. It is in the extraneous things, including living your life, which a lot of people also deal with regular jobs. This is where I'm completely okay with people saying I am wrong. We are all streamers, and no one wants to think that their life is easy. No one wants to think that they were born on easy. It's the same reason this is going to be, we're going to make a jump here, and I'm going to ask you to stick with me, and I'm going to ask you to not fucking clip chip this. You know what I mean? No one wants to think that they are born with a silver spoon in their mouth. The amount of people that I've met who have told me that they were middle class, and then I look it up and their family fucking owns like a second home, has a boat, they go to Aspen sometimes, and I go, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? It's something that Rochelle did unbeknownst to her, right? She was like, oh yeah, we grew up like, I don't know, lower middle class. And then I look and she was one of the richer families in the town. Right? And it's not her fault. It is just something that we are programmed with. And it is something that we do to protect our ego and to not feel bad about the choices that we make in our lives and things like that. As streamers, I think we fall into that same fallacy where we don't want to feel bad. We defend things like reacting sometimes or drama farming and stuff like that because we don't want to truly believe in our core and our soul that the thing we are doing is bad or doesn't have value or that our life is easier or things like that. I think opponents of streaming as a hard job always think of like construction workers as real jobs when like half of their jobs are piss easy. Yeah, the jobs that I have done, the only hard job I had was stocking shelves in a grocery store on the night shift. And that was only hard because it was physically demanding. But to be perfectly honest, it didn't add any stress to my life in the way that like even office jobs have when I was younger pre-streaming, because I would go in and I'd put on my headphones and I'd listen to fucking, at the time, what was it? Was it Pandora? What's the one that would just play random music based on a song? I'd listen to Pandora and I would move a bunch of boxes of shit. And then I would go home and I wouldn't think about the store ever again. Whereas now I have like a sense of existential dread if I don't stream for a day. XQC reacts to Hasan's horrible take that streaming is harder than a real job.
A real job can make you very tired, but a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean?
Oh, try a sales job. Oh, nah. Oh, nah. Yo. How about I match his salary for a month and he gets a sales job? Oof.
In the same way that 9 hours of streaming, absolutely.
To be fair, sales jobs aren't fun. I don't enjoy them. But the stress of a sales job, in my experience for the 2 years I worked a sales job, is not the day-to-day. It is the quarter-to-quarter and the year-to-year of not hitting your goals and getting fired. Day-to-day, a sales job isn't that hard. You just fucking call people up, send emails, try and think of ideas. It's the like, oh man, if I don't do well, I'm going to be one of the first people fired at a company. And then when I'm thinking of hard jobs, I'm definitely not thinking of sales jobs. In fact, I bet there's a lot of chatters here who would trade their job for a sales job, right? Sales jobs can be relatively cushy. You can work in an office. You can be on a computer. I'll be perfectly fucking honest. You could be watching this stream right now in a sales job. And I bet there's someone in chat who's working a sales job watching this stream. I have to imagine statistically this is happening right now, right? Hell yeah, brother. That's me, right? Yeah, someone in chat said XQC might be talking about retail. Retail is significantly harder. And I would say that even harder still is fast food. Of the common jobs we're talking about, we're obviously not going to be talking about being a fireman or being an Alaskan crab fisherman or that guy in the clip where he's like doing the oil rig with all the mud. And I think it might actually be porn because they're all shirtless and it's very homoerotic. We're really talking about the common jobs. And I think that working at like McDonald's or Jack in the Box is probably the hardest basic job, because you just don't get any time to do what you want. You're either cooking or cleaning or working with the worst customers in the world. Oh, this is going to be good. It's the Kira guy. Rich streamers pretending like they have the hardest jobs ever will always piss me off. Now, one thing, hey, this is me. When I said I worked at a grocery store, this is literally what I did. When I said like the job that was physically hard but not draining at all, when I was actually like giving credence to Hasan's point, this was a physical job that was extremely easy to me because I literally moved one of these things around with big ass boxes, and it was a supply store, not like a regular grocery store. So everything was the cans were so fucking big and heavy, man. And I just did that once the store closed. One of the things I've noticed is that most of the people that are keeping this drama alive, myself included, are not the people that would be taking offense to this in my experience. It seems like we have a lot of content creators and a lot of like Twitter content creators, if that's a thing, holding the torch for each side here, which is like, wait, what? Like, I feel like it probably would be valuable to get the content creators' takes because they're on one side of it, but then also the blue collar and white collar workers, the people who work a 9 to 5 or 6 to 3 or whatever they do's take on this. On to our next one. Millionaire streamer Hasan Piker claims that a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you in the same way that streaming absolutely will. Yeah, all of these, like 9.3 million views, 1.1 million views, 2.9 million views. A lot of this is like an opportunity to punch at Hasan specifically, not even punch at the idea of a streamer bourgeoisie class, right? These people are doing nothing and making a lot of money, which you can have a gripe with, which you can be upset about. But I think specifically a lot of the time, this is meant just to punch at Hasan and not your streamer. Streaming doesn't suck the soul out of me. It's fun and the best job I've ever had. The peeps out there with the 9 to 5s and working manual labor have it way harder. Not sure why so many peeps watch this Hasan guy. Dude is completely out of touch with the real world. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it earlier. The reason why I would rather stream, even though it has like adverse mental effects on me than stocking shelves, is the money. The thing that we haven't talked enough about is the money. And especially when I got started streaming during COVID, the money was absolutely fucking bonkers ridiculous. The reason why I am still streaming, even though it has adverse effects on my mental, is because it is absolutely worth it because I make so much money. It is way more money than I would make doing other things in my life. And so I'm going to continue doing it. For the same reason that I think people do hard jobs, life-threatening jobs, because it's going to make more money for them. I do think it's nice to see like people who are content creators give their opinion on this. And I think that it is totally fine and normal to be on both sides, even though I don't necessarily think there's sides of this argument. It's like streaming is easy versus streaming is hard versus jobs can be soul sucking across the spectrum straight up. Streaming is by far one of the easiest and most privileged jobs one can have. I completely agree with that. That doesn't mean it. I do agree with that. It doesn't mean it doesn't fucking suck a lot of the time. I think all jobs suck. I think all jobs fucking suck, bro. If you're successful, the rewards far outweigh any of the negatives. Compare it to any service job, cybersecurity, or nursing, and you'll find something actually exhausting. Man, it's crazy. I feel bad. I want to put my hand up and say my B. We haven't talked about nursing. Nursing is actually the is actually the hardest job in the world because people like my dad who might be watching are just pieces of shit in the hospital. They yell and they cuss and they fight, and the nurse is literally trying to wipe their ass and save their life from some stupid shit. And they're on their feet all day and they get spit on and shit on. It's like, who the fuck is doing this? Why would you do it? They see people die all the time. Honestly, that might be the best part. Old man Jenkins literally won't stop calling me slurs. Thank God. I tried to keep him alive, but if he died, caught. I'm happy. This was in a reply, by the way, to Denims, which I didn't read the post. As someone who worked 12-hour shifts with a 4-hour commute while going to uni full time, which is crazy, streaming is easily the hardest job I've had. The post-stream social exhaustion is so real, I don't know how anyone could do it every day. And that kind of, I think this is where things are lost in communication, right? It's streamers are talking about post-stream. Even Hasan in his first point is talking about how soul-sucking and exhausting it is after the stream ends and not while the stream is going. And I think when most people think about streamers in the same way that a teacher is a robot that turns off when you leave the school, you don't think of people in these jobs as human when you don't see them, right? You forget that nurses have to go home and cook dinner, right? You forget all these other things. I don't know know this to be true about a lot of jobs, but I know in my experience, like I did not have to do a lot of work on the job training, sharpening my skills when I worked at the grocery store, when I worked at the video rental place, or when I worked at the sales job. Me cooking and eating dinner, wow, this is great, yummy food. Me when I see the dishes in the sink after, yeah. And I think streaming creates a lot of dishes. And creates a lot of like really unhealthy. With the advent of the internet, I think a lot of younger people have this in general, but creates a lot of always on and curating inhuman relationships, parasocial relationships with too many people online. For the same reason that like you have to take a picture of your dinner, or if you're at a party or a museum, you have to take a picture and share it with people. And this person didn't like it. And like, oh, I only got 100 likes on this. Like those things, but are already so shitty and terrible and are draining our youth. And then doing it for money just like makes it a little more stressful. Here we go. This is Hasan's response. You guys were mad earlier. I didn't play the response because we wanted to see what people said first. This is Hasan's response to the Willie Mac Show post that we saw, second tweet in this thread. It's wild how this completely out of context clip made its way to Twitter so fast. I was talking about how much a 9-hour stream eats away at my social battery and how I can't socialize after, comparing it to my sales job before. I recognize how fortunate I am every day, which is kind of what I've been saying.
No. Social battery wise, unless you're in fucking retail, it's very different. You're out of touch. I'm gonna die, dude. There's motherfucker.
Holy! Wait, I mentioned that I thought it might be a clip, Chimp, but I also have been known to think that Hasan says some dumb shit sometimes. Are we really only talking about social battery? This is, why are we extrapolating this so hard? This isn't streaming is the hardest job in the world. This is streaming is a job that drains your social battery more than other jobs in the world. What the fuck is happening here? Why are we doing this? Someone else in that thread said, I already watched Hasan's context and I still don't agree. What the fuck?
No. Social battery wise, unless you're in retail.
That's so cringe. And the problem is this is how it reverberates because XQC only saw the clipped version and then was like, yeah, imagine him working a sales job. He literally talks about retail, which we are assuming XQC means here. That's so funny. He went from dead wrong to correct. It's not even correct because again, it's just a feeling about how his social battery is drained and he believes that to be true about other streamers. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not XQC's fault. XQC is watching the same clip that I watched, which is from that tweet that got 10 million views.
There's motherfuckers who are accountants in here and they're misunderstanding what I'm saying. A real job does not expend your social battery in the same fucking way as someone who did a sales job, a real job. Okay. I'm telling you, as someone who did both, like,
and he's only talking about anecdotal evidence. This is crazy. I actually was going into this. I was like, damn, I think Hasan said some dumb shit. I'm probably going to get attacked by Hasan Frog. He defended this so hard at the beginning. He's like, you know what? I'm going to make sure there's no way to misconstrue this. I am only talking about these specific situations. And then they only clipped the aftermath.
Imagine giving a presentation for 9 hours straight. It's like, after a while, you would be like, I don't want to talk ever again.
Yeah, totally. What a uniquely specific to him thing he is talking about that he is mayhaps an expert in because he has worked a sales job and a streaming job. Wait, how do we have so many more tweets? What the fuck? I feel like we've solved it. Imagine being so out of touch with reality that you think talking at your computer is harder than a real job. What the fuck? Cance, what are you cooking here? This is why. Because Hasan got into the fray on social media. After posting the context, he had enough. And so he replied to Juju and said, these people farm the stupid people on Twitter for $3 in Twitter ad revenue with clips like this. Of course, I don't think Twitch streaming is harder than a real job, you dumb fuck. It is, however, better than whatever the fuck y'all are doing on this increasingly more dog shit website. Holy. Not a single original thought in this loser's mind. Just a bot posting to other bots, barely getting back the $8 he paid for the Twitter blue checkmark until the website inevitably crashes and burns. He gave me the ick. You are 30 years old. He gave me the, he stole this? Wait, he stole this from an account that got 29,000 likes on it? That's fucked up. It is crazy that like Twitter reply guys are getting in. I don't know. I have done some things in the content creation space I'm not proud of, aka reacting to television shows, but at least I'm not stealing tweets, bro. Your dad is a multi-million. Oh, so the fight keeps going. Your dad is a multi-millionaire and you believe in socialism. You live in a $5 million mansion. The mansion, can I get the truth? Chat, I need you. In 3 different tweets today, we've seen 3 different dollar amounts and 3 different amounts of rooms in his mansion. Was it like 2.5? What were we talking? What is the real cost of the mansion? Not that it changes everything. I'm just trying to figure it out. He bought it for like 2.5 and it's worth over 3 now. 2.7, 3. It was 3 milli, not sure rooms, 2.5, 2.7, 2.7. All right, we'll call it 3. You know what I mean? We'll call it 3 and that's fine. I get confused when everyone's throwing around these numbers and it makes it harder. Everything about you is a hypocrite and your whole fan base is mindless Americans that can't think for themselves. I think it's totally fine to believe in socialism and preach it and also make money in our current economic system. I actually don't think that you have to hold those separately. And there seems to be a belief that like state-controlled commerce and communism is what socialism is, but I don't know. I honestly don't care if Hasan makes money and spends it in a way that makes him happy. It doesn't conflict with socialism at all. That's my understanding of it. But to be fair, I got my political science degree from Arizona State. So if you guys went to almost any other university in the world, you might be more knowledgeable than me. I can't disagree or not, but ad hominems is just a weak argument no matter the topic. Yeah, at this point, we're just watching 2 behemoths go at each other, right? You're stupid, your tweets are bad, your dad is rich, and you're a champagne socialist, things like that. Hasan replies, not actually reply guying, which is good because supposedly these people make money off of impressions. Twitter absolutely is just straight up 4chan now. So many people's brains are cooked. One day we will study its impact on a generation of school shooters who, oh, Jesus Christ. One day we will study its impact on a generation of school shooters who grew up on here/Reddit, but it will be too late. My God, that's wild. I don't know if I blame Twitter as hard as many people do. I do think the internet is going to have ramifications. It's already having ramifications that we did not expect, but it will have ramifications that we do not even believe, especially mixed with a lot of cultural beliefs that are present in the United States. Holy, and a lot of cultural beliefs that are present in other, countries where the internet is prevalent. Like I think you look at some things that are being shared online in the US, you look at things that are being shared online in China. There's like a lot of fear out there for me. But maybe I'm just a nervous Nelly who also spends a lot of time on the internet and specifically spends a lot of time on Twitter and Reddit, which is where maybe you would see these kinds of things. I also think that's a huge leap from someone who's having a dishonest argument with me all the way to this is where school shooters come from. I think that where maybe I see these lines is that a lot of these dishonest arguments are things that are getting like millions to tens of millions of views, right? And all of a sudden, like we are only seeing certain versions of things. But I agree, you're right, that there is a huge jump there. So much so that as I was reading it, I was like, holy shit, what? I thought it was a big jump at first blush. This motherfucker got cooked for saying streaming is harder than a 9-to-5 job and is now making it about school shooters. See, this is where we talked a little bit about there being disingenuous discourse on there. What really happened is Hasan talked about the difference in rate of drain of your social battery between sales jobs and streaming. And this has now become streaming is harder than a 9-to-5 and extrapolating to school shooters. It's like gone so far that we are miles away from where we actually started, which was a conversation between Hasan and his viewers. And this is why you have to be very careful in how you interact with certain groups on the internet, because they will take, one thing you said that probably was too far, and they will latch onto it for the rest of their lives. And Hasan will now be the, Twitter is creating school shooters guy to them. It is valuable monetarily because this person has Twitter Blue. I don't know how much money because I don't really understand this. It is valuable monetarily for this person to do this. It'll go away in a couple of weeks. I feel like nobody will care anymore. Yeah, it'll go away in a couple of weeks, and then it'll be something else that was, in my opinion, innocuous, right? It's like who gives a shit if Hasan thinks that your social battery drains faster while streaming than while being a construction worker? It's like, what do we, okay, man, great. To me, it feels as basic as being like, you should eat more vegetables, bro. And then people being like, no, I hate vegetables. This is the worst streamer of all time. Yeah, this is just 108,000 likes, 7.7 million views. This is why they do it, because they do this and then they do this and they get a lot of likes and it's a big number and you feel good. This is also why I don't like drama videos, even though they get 1 million views. And just like Streaming being a job that can suck your battery. Drama videos are a job that I get no fulfillment out of outside of money. I am purely making this video for money and subscribers in the same way that these streamers are streaming because they get more benefits out of it than they lose for streaming. Hasan's final reply, Twitch streaming, this is so fucking funny to me because I've seen this on 100,000 of these reply guy accounts. What's harder than this? How come men don't do this anymore? And it's I guarantee this is not a real oil rig. This is the start of a gay porno, bro. It always gets me going. Always. When he spins the chain, that shit fucking rules. Give me the chain! Is this not the one? In summary, Hasan on his personal stream made a statement that he believes streaming drains his social battery more than his sales job, and that he would say streaming in general drains your social battery more than any job that wasn't retail. People took that to mean streaming is harder than a 9-to-5. People took that to mean Hasan hates 9-to-5 workers. People took that to mean guillotine streamers. People took that to mean, honestly, whatever they want. And it ended with like, fuck this guy, which is honestly where it started. I think the whole reason this started is it's just so easy to get clicks by saying fuck Hasan. It's like that Family Guy clip where Lois is up there and she's talking about 9/11 or whatever it is, and 9/11 bad. It's like if you just say like this streamer sucks, you're gonna get so many likes, and it doesn't fucking matter. Oh, did you found the chain dangler? So I'm gonna end with the actual hardest job in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Stop laughing.